All right, we're live, buddy. Say hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good, brother. How are you, man? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right.
Maybe work on my birthday here.
I know. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Vidal. I am president of RelatedISG International Realty and host of the show you're watching today, episode number 68 of The Closer Club. And if there's ever a closer I've had on the show, it's this guy to my left, David Marder. David and I go back, man, we've been in the business 5 years. We just missed each other at ERA, reconnected as a result of this show. And happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
How old?
36.
36. And he's
Today.
killing it.
Today.
Now, stay tuned because after this episode with David, we are going to tour. We're shooting live from a beautiful $6.8 million house in Fort Lauderdale. Brand new construction. You're going to actually see some construction materials around, but it's probably one of the most stunning houses I've ever been in on. But in 5 years, this guy has become one of the top realtors, not only in Fort Lauderdale, but at RelatedISG International Realty as well. And he's one of the most down-to-earth, hardworking guys I know. And there's a lot that you're going to learn for our realtor viewers out of this episode. You ready, dude?
Ready.
Let's do it, man.
Thank you.
All right, so 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago, you got your license. We miss each other at Herman Group.
Yeah,
a few months.
The ghost of Alex Vidal.
The ghost of Alex Vidal. That happens.
Yeah.
And now, dude, within 5 years, you're one of the top realtors. Why did you even get into real estate?
My background comes from marketing and brand management. And, you do the corporate thing for a while.
Sure.
And I was turning 36, or maybe almost 6 years now in real estate, 5.5. But I kind of just realized that the company I was with wasn't for me. And I was either going to start looking for a new job, shopping the resume out, which would have most likely brought me out of Florida, which I didn't want to do. And I had a lot of friends and people that do very well in real estate in New York and in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And I figured it was now or never. Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And
now, you are one. Let me move my little microphone here.
Yeah.
You are one of the guys that I know that, there's a lot of realtors that are in the business a long time. And very rarely do they reach the levels of success that they do, period, let alone in less than 5 years. Because we've been talking for about a year now. Yeah. What were the top three things? What was it like when you first got your license? Okay. And what were the top three things you did to get to the levels you're at today?
Well, when you first get your license, you kind of wake up with a piece of paper and a license number, and you don't know what to do with it. So for me, I kind of singled out a friend of mine and other people in the office that would let me do anything for them.
Okay.
So when I first got my license, I was going to work every day and offering people to let me pick up their lock boxes and let me do their open houses, whatever. Let me help them with
the grunt work.
Whatever I could. Yeah, the mailroom. Yeah, that's the
analogy.
The analogy. Thanks. Yeah.
What's interesting about that is a lot of realtors, when you look at I've had Dora Puiga on, Nelson Gonzalez, Julian Johnson, Karen Elmir, Michael Citron, some really big, Don Incravaggio, the really big names in South Florida, and they all started the same way. They all did the grunt work. They didn't move into listing $6.8 million houses from the get-go.
No, it's nice. If you're plugged in like that, you can get them day one. That's awesome. But
so I'm going to press you a little bit. That's one thing that you did, right, when you first got into the business. What are a couple other things you did when you first got started?
Just to kind of get your first listing and things like that, you're saying?
Yeah, sure. Here you are, you got your listing, you got your license, right?
Yeah.
You started doing some of the grunt work. What else are you doing?
Well, if you can, if you have a good enough agent in your office that has a team that's willing to let you join the team, maybe you take the stuff that they're not willing to do, the lower end stuff. Other than that, I eventually just started buying leads. I said, I can't sit here waiting for someone to come to me. So I did, Realtor.com and Zillow stuff to start. And I'm just relentless on the phone. That's me. I don't let them slip between the cracks. So
there you go. You're pounding the phones.
Yeah, and I was driving every day. My goal was to get 3 or 4 new people in my car a week. Okay. From online, and then show them houses until there was literally nothing left to see. And you're not doing that in the pretty areas when you first start out.
Yeah, when you first start out. Yeah. So one of the things I love is you deal a lot with. You are always that's one. Let me regress. One of the things I love about our business is, and I know technology is coming in strong, but there's a certain segment of our market that is always, or a certain part of the market that's always going to remain that face-to-face, belly-to-belly, palm-to-palm. Things that just technology can't answer, right? Yeah. So one of the biggest questions we get as realtors is, how's the market right now? There's a lot of noise out there. So when a customer, buyer, or seller asks you, David, how's the market doing? How are you answering that question?
Well, 70% of my business right now is Broward County. I still do about a third or so in Miami, but I'm telling them the market's really strong in Broward, especially single-family homes. And then if you look at some of the statistics, I think there's these guys that sit back in an office and analyze statistics,
Sure.
and they look at new home sales are down 20% or something. But it kind of makes sense because we come out of a recession, you get so many buildings being built at the same time. They all get delivered in 2018. You can't keep that pace going, right? So there's a wave. So if, I'm making up fake numbers, but if 10,000 new homes were built last year or new condos, you can't do 10,000 new this year. So of course, from a faraway perspective, that looks like a decrease. But that kind of helps us with our organic growth. And when you look at the inventory on the market, and you look at the fact that no new buildings are planned in 2020, 2021, 2022, at least new developments in my area, in Broward, and 90% of the existing are already sold out, I think we're going to have a good market in the next few years.
Yeah, it's a great way to look at it. I know Craig looks at it that way too.
Some of that I stole from Craig at the Related report.
Yeah, Craig with the Miami report, he talks about the inventory, right? And he talks about how, everybody's looking at all these units that are being delivered, but the reality is that the new buildings that are being built are going to be 80, 90, 100-story story buildings, right? So
if they've even been announced yet.
If they haven't even been announced, but even if they are, they have to reach a 50, 60% pre-sale requirement. A building that size is going to take 2 or 3 years. A building that size is then going to take another 3 or 4 years to build. We're not seeing any new inventory for the next at least 6 to 7 years.
Exactly. If you see a buyer, you tell them you have to pick what's from out there on today right now.
That's right. I love that, and I love how you're really digging deep. It's not just, hey, we're down 10%. The reality is
that's a fake number.
It's a fake number.
And then just to add, in Broward, I'm able to say a lot of our buyers and some of the pre-construction and now new condos like the Auberge and the Paramount that's come out the last few years. Big domestic buyer. It's not such a speculative market like it is in Miami, so I'm able to lean on those type of stats where I'm selling.
Now, not only do you work with a lot of buyers, but you work with a lot of sellers. So my next question, let's talk about listings. How do you handle unrealistic sellers? How are you bringing them down to earth? Because one thing is to get the listing, the other thing is to get a listing that's actually priced right.
So yeah, the biggest unrealistic part of a seller is what the price is. And you hear everyone say educate them on the market, and that comes with showing comps and showing what things have sold for. But I think there's another side of that too, which is educating them on what buyers are doing in today's market. And I would tell you that I tell my clients that the education process for the client is buyers are not looking at houses that are priced way too high and going, oh, that's priced so high, let me come in with a lowball offer. They're doing the opposite. Maybe that was a strategy 15, 20 years ago, but they're so smart now and they're online and they have all these different types of estimates that are not so accurate sometimes, but either way, they're going and looking at the home that looks good. Of course, your first impression is the picture and your photography and videography. But the second thing is, if you're price aggressive, right where you're supposed to be, coming out the gate strong, that education is what I like to tell them. Not so much, oh, these are your 3 comps, but more your first impression. And the most important time is the first 2 weeks to 30 days on the market, and you don't want to go stale. So price sharp. All
right, there you go. I love it. Now, would you agree with me that sometimes the best listing sometimes is the one you didn't take?
Yeah, and I've been wrong, which is not fun either. I've had one that I said you're going too high, and I should have taken that one, but I've taken a lot that end up coming back to me or expiring, and then you didn't spend all this time and money and energy. But if you can convince them or educate them that price right will bring them more demand, which potentially will bring you multiple offers. The biggest seller is scarcity and the fear of missing out.
Sure.
So you want people to come into the home and know that, wow, this is a beautiful home. It's priced right. Someone else is going to make an offer. You don't want them to think, we have time.
Oh, dude, I love that. That's a great approach. Instead of saying, hey, let's price it high and see what happens. No, let's price it right, get an abundance of offers, fear of loss instills in the people, and that's
what it is. That's what it is. So on that first weekend, you want to do an open house or whatever it is, get enough appointments set up that there's enough action there and people can sense the action, the consumer can sense the action, and they go, if we don't make this offer, it's going to be gone next week. And that comes with price. You could be the best marketer in the world, but you got to price it right.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I think, how many times do people walk in, see an overpriced listing and say, it's so overpriced, I got time, let me keep looking.
You cannot give them the sense that they have time. That's with everything. That's it.
Yeah,
it's psychology.
Craig, I like that one. We should use that one. Yeah. All right, let's go in the lightning round. One word, very short answers. Best ROI for leads.
Know your pre-construction. If we're talking just ROI, Why not sell a 6% commission?
Got it.
That's a good return.
So, but the return on investment. So, where would the investment be there? Would it be just in time, or where's the ROI? Let's talk money. If you had to put your money somewhere, where would you put it?
Develop your brand online.
All right, develop your brand. Got it. Favorite social media platform? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
I know Instagram's the future, but for a lot of my demographic, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's definitely mine.
Yeah.
One daily practice every agent should be doing to make their business better.
One daily practice every day. Text on the toilet.
Text on the toilet.
Wake up, brush your teeth, shut the door behind you. I text 50 people every morning when I'm doing my hair and doing my business.
There you go. So if you're getting a text from David early in the morning, now you know where he is.
That's what I'm doing. 50 a day. Don't stand up.
That's like, can't stand up till you do 50.
It's like 50 push-ups, 50 texts.
That's funny. What percent?
I got you there.
Yeah, you got me. I
with your feet, right?
I like that though. You don't get off the toilet to do 50 texts.
Yeah.
What percent of your income do you put back into marketing?
25%.
Yeah, you spend big bucks on marketing.
A little more than that. I'm trying to decrease it right now.
Yeah, no, but it's paying off. I mean, look where we're at, right?
Sometimes when you're doing a new initiative, you have to kind of ramp up,
Sure.
and then hopefully you can bring it down. You know,
get it going, and then you can.
Yeah, if it's working,
If
you don't
it's
want
working.
you don't want too much that you can't handle either. Yeah. So
really, you think that's true? Okay, let's keep on that. So you think having too much is not a good thing?
Well, what if you spent $1 million a month on Realtor.com? Could you handle all those leads?
Dude, if you spend $1 million a month on Realtor.com and you can't handle leads, talk to me.
That was a bad example.
Talk to me, and I'll set you up.
I'm not sending it all to them, but if you spent it on your website, on anything, if you're getting too many names, who knows?
Got it. All right. If you could only pick one way to prospect, what would it be?
Only one way to I'm a phone guy.
Okay.
I think I like to be on the phones.
Sure.
My niche is clients coming in from out of town. I'm kind of doing like that concierge service where someone from New York, Massachusetts, wherever flies in. I'm picking them at the airport and I'm giving them a tour of the neighborhood and I'm showing them things. And I think that stems from me speaking to them and cultivating it through the phone.
Yeah.
Multiple contacts.
So that goes back to something about technology, right? Technology can't put somebody in the car and drive them around unless they're in a self-driving car. But even then, it's that face-to-face, belly-to-belly, palm-to-palm.
They need the education. They want to know a local person who knows the market's helping them.
Yeah, that's what's going to separate you guys. Pay attention. First question you ask every buyer you're working with.
You know what? I try to build rapport. So I know this is a silly answer, but it's like, what's up? How are you? Where are you from? Are you in town?
Sure.
I kind of start off that way. But eventually you want to know, if you want to get into the nitty gritty, your first real question might just be, it's a tough question. Sometimes you're qualifying them. Sometimes it's, are you pre-approved, things like that. But at higher price points, I don't even go there.
I'll get you off the hook.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how I got you. I'm going to take you off the hook. The one question you asked about how are you? Yeah. And I actually just had this conversation with somebody earlier. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm calling from New York. There's a lot of noise behind me. I'm like, hey, that's cool. How you doing?
That's what I do.
And she's like, she goes, oh my God.
I felt like that was a cheesy answer, but it's really what's up? What's up is the question.
So in our No Excuses coaching program, one of the exercises we do is we force our agents in the coaching program to open up every conversation, whether you're the cashier at Publix, or you're at the mail office, or you're at the DMV, wherever you are, just stop and ask the person how you're doing. And as corny as it sounds, the wall immediately goes away, and you can get away with murder.
Exactly. So that's what I meant by my first questions are rapport building questions.
Exactly. A lot of times, oh, okay, great, you found it. Are you working? Most questions probably are you working with a realtor? Great, you found my listing online. May I ask you first? Are you working with a realtor? Yeah. How you doing today?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. And I think you kind of answered this already, but if you were you just got your license today, what's the first thing you'd be doing?
Yeah, it goes back to that first question. I think I would try to find someone that I can really shadow.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's a big part.
By the way, it's another common denominator among the heavy hitters that we've had on the Closer Club.
You need a mentor.
So
I watch your show. Yeah.
You need a mentor. All right, last question, and then guys, stick around because you have to see this house. It's freaking amazing. Book, podcast, or TED Talk recommendation for the audience?
Me and you connected on a book because I finished it already now, the David Goggins book.
Yep.
And
Can't Hurt Me.
Can't Hurt Me, yeah. He talks about testing your capacity and a lot of things that I think are good. But you know what it is? I'm not a big motivational guy. I don't listen to the Tony Robbins of the world. I'm not saying you shouldn't. He was more about stop crying over yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just get out there and do it. And it was less rah-rah, which was good for me.
Correct. It was raw, rah-rah.
Yeah,
than it
he's
was
very
like,
raw.
you could do whatever you want to put your mind to.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't like, the secret. It was more like, forget about it. Whatever's bad and whatever happens negative, push through.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? You mentioned capacity. I remember that final moment that you and I were talking on the phone. It was a soccer practice at night, and we talked about the book, and then we talked about both of us being fascinated with our capacity. We just so you know, David and I, for all of you that question the show, David is one of our top agents in Related ISG. We did know each other from back in the day at ERA Herman Group, or we knew of each other. And David started watching the show, text messaged me privately about it, and here we are now. He's one of our top agents at Related ISG. And part of that conversation was testing our capacity, and both equally being fascinated with capacity. And
I don't like feeling comfortable. I think that's a common denominator. Is complacency, feeling comfortable. Oh, I did X this year. It's like, no, how can I increase that? I know you're doing it with a lot of different stuff too.
That's right. All right, so we're going to tour you around. We're not going to do the entire house, because how many square feet is this house?
The house is over 11,000 square feet. Sure. It's about 9,000 under air with some other air-conditioned garages and aspects to it.
Wait till you see the garage.
If I may, this is a brand new community in Fort Lauderdale called The Enclave, which is a section of Coral Ridge Country Club, where there used to be a public portion of the golf course. They've divided it into 36 lots. This is going to be the first completed house, and we're going to go live Thursday with it.
That's right. Not even on the market yet. Listing agreement is signed. It's going live in a couple of days on the MLS and all that stuff. So you guys are getting a sneak peek. Check this beauty out. Now we're hardwired to the phone. So David, just keep that in mind as we walk around.
Don't trip you?
No, don't trip. And we're going to pick this up and show you guys around real quick. So
since we're right here, you want to just see the pool?
Yeah. Why don't we go straight to the pool? Don't mind all the furniture. We had to move some of the furniture around, but kind of give you an idea.
So the waterfall's not on, but if you can catch that, we got a 20-foot waterfall.
Look how high that ceiling is. There's a waterfall all the way up there.
Right.
Watch my step here.
You got an oversized jacuzzi with multiple landings in the pool. I think you have 18 different LED lights. You have a ton of TVs on the outside and all this overhead outdoor living. And the whole back of the home opens up. I won't open all the doors for you, but you can see all the glass.
Yeah. There you go. There's the front of the house. Here's the back. It keeps going.
Built-in summer kitchen.
Yeah, so we're going to show you the master, the kitchen, the garage, and the what'd you call it? The man cave.
Yeah.
Right, so there's your kitchen.
Yeah. So if you're walking through the kitchen, you have a huge
just to
island.
Kind of share with them. That's the front door. So when you walk in, you have the kitchen off to the.
You know what? If you come this way by the front door, we might get a better walkthrough of
let's back up.
The garage and the wine vault and all that stuff.
So right now the front door is right behind me. There's this beautiful front door. You walk in immediately to your left. You have the dining room. That's going to be, how many bottles is that wine cellar?
Well, we're about to set it up. We're going to do a design with the bottles, but anywhere from 700 to 1,000 bottles.
There you go. This is all this area.
Yeah, the ceilings in there are over 20 feet tall.
Yeah. Let's show them the master.
Wait till you see the master here. As we walk through the master, you got the glass garage, which has got TVs and wet bars in it.
If any of you know Desert and the Porsche Tower, this is essentially the Porsche Tower in a single family home.
Yeah, it's air conditioned, 5-car.
Look at the even the detail in the ceiling of the garage.
And then when you walk into your master here, you have a room off the master that can be made into a home gym or a nursery or an office.
A little wet bar when you come into the master.
This gym isn't furnished yet, but here's your master. It opens up to the golf course, so you have no one that sees you from your backyard. Your whole master opens up.
There you go, there's the pool. Then
and
check
then
out this bathroom.
Here's your bathroom. You have 19-foot ceilings in the bathroom with glass windows that wrap around your ceilings. LEDs around the tub. It's just massive. The shower's massive.
And the closet's going to be right off to the left. Let's show them that closet and then we'll wrap up.
You want to walk in there?
Cage. Yeah, let's show it to them.
So all your doors are glass doors. Here's your closet. Here's your men's side.
Yep.
Right?
It's the men's
all
closet.
Custom closet. The kitchen, the closets, everything's a Talcraft TV in the closet.
And all the way over here is the women's closet.
And you got another one.
All right, so we're going to take a quick beeline to the man cave.
All right, let's walk fast.
David, if they want to reach you, how can they reach you about this listing?
You can either message me right here on Facebook. We're going to do an exclusive Brokers Open, so if you want an invite, please. This is, like I said, the first home available that's completely finished in the Enclave. And then you can also call me, 954-951-3356.
All right. make our way back across. Again, it's a 9,000 square feet under air, so it takes a little bit of exercise to cross around.
Here's we call it the club room or the media room.
This is the media room / man cave. We're going to end it here to kind of give you an idea. Check this room out.
Yeah, you got 3 TVs on this wall.
Those are, just for perspective, those are 80, how big?
82 inch.
82 inch TVs.
And then you got another one over here with the bar.
Ceiling.
So
full bar. All right, Dave, any parting words for him?
No, thank you, Alex, and come see the rest of the house.
There you go.